Welcome back to a brand new explainer, everyone. Today, we are diving into something really special and honestly, a lot of fun. We're taking a completely different, highly visual approach. We're going to take the deeply emotional lyrics of the hit song Terry Yado May from the film The Killer, and we're going to deconstruct them in a totally unique way. Instead of just analyzing the poetry like a textbook, I want you to imagine we are sitting in an animation studio right now. We are going to treat these lyrics as if they are the storyboard pitch for an energetic, visually striking animated short film. We're talking about taking the raw, intense grief of this song and translating it into literal, exaggerated cartoon imagery about two separated souls. So buckle up because we're jumping right into the very first frame of our movie. Okay, so our animated film opens right in the thick of the action. The opening lines translate to, "Wandering door to door, your sign is nowhere to be found." Picture our male protagonist dead center in the frame. He's wandering aimlessly through this exaggerated, surreal, completely empty cartoon landscape. You know those classic, sprawling animated deserts where the horizon literally curves and just stretches on forever? That's where he is. And he isn't just taking a casual stroll, he is in the middle of an exhausting, hyperkinetic physical search. Imagine him literally opening freestanding doors that pop up in this barren wasteland, but they lead absolutely nowhere. He's desperately looking for a physical, tangible sign of his lost love. Now, think about the incredible visual contrast between our two characters in this scene. We've got our male character in a state of frantic motion, running, panting, checking behind every rock, wandering door to door like an absolute madman. But then we cut to the female character, and she is perfectly, heartbreakingly still. Her lyric translates to, "Ever since I separated, I ask God." So in our animation, she's drawn rooted to one single spot, looking helplessly upward into this massive, twinkling, starry night sky. It is the ultimate visual juxtaposition, right? His outward physical panic completely clashing with her quiet, internal despair. So how does this whole story unfold? Our animated short essentially follows a four-part emotional descent. First up, we have separation. That's the inciting incident, the spark that rips them apart. That immediately throws us into step two, the search, which is that frantic wandering we just talked about. But as that search proves completely fruitless, our protagonist drops down into stage three, the void, where the cartoon world literally darkens. And finally, we hit stage four, the illusion, where he gets completely trapped in a labyrinth of his own memories. It's a perfect downward spiral, literally mapping out a heart, breaking into pieces. That brings us to Act 2, the bite of loneliness. And let me tell you, the tone shifts dramatically here. As we enter this next phase, the entire color palette of our animation flips. Those bright, open deserts we started with, they fade into these claustrophobic, dark purples and inky, deep blacks. We are moving away from a physical search in the outside world and plunging straight into a psychological thriller inside the protagonist's mind. And here's the coolest part about doing this in an animated style. Abstract feelings don't just exist as invisible thoughts anymore. In our cartoon world, they manifest as very real, very dangerous physical threats. For example, take the lyric, "Loneliness bites me." Now, in a live-action film, you'd probably just show a character looking really sad on a couch. But in animation? Oh, we take this literally. We're drawing loneliness as a slithering, shadowy snake, or maybe a pack of dark, jagged shadow monsters snapping at his heels. Every single time he stops moving to catch his breath, the shadows lunge forward and literally bite him. Suddenly, an internal emotional ache is turned into a thrilling, terrifying chase sequence. The absolute key here is how we're defining our villain. Loneliness is no longer just a passive state of being isolated. No, it is the primary active antagonist in our animated world. It's got glowing eyes, it's got sharp teeth, and it actively hunts. By personifying this emotion, we are giving our animated hero a terrifying, physical enemy to run away from. He isn't just sad anymore, folks. He is literally fighting to survive a monster of his own making. Then, suddenly the chase pauses. Our hero drops to his knees and cries out the lyric, "Where are you? Where am I?" Imagine the camera rapidly pulling back at this exact second. We pull out from the character, up into the clouds, higher and higher, until he is just a tiny, insignificant speck on a massive, floating island in the sky. Then we pan across this vast, sprawling, bottomless void to reveal another isolated floating island miles and miles away, and that is where the female character sits. With just this one single visual, we instantly communicate the impossible, agonizing distance between the two of them. All right, dropping back down to the ground, we enter Act 3. The search resumes. But if you look closely, the environment has severely degraded. Everything is distorted. The trees are jagged, the pathways are warped like you're looking into a funhouse mirror, and even the gravity seems a bit off. The sheer exhaustion of his endless wandering has started to literally warp the animated reality around him. The world he's walking through is physically reflecting his own mental breakdown. Let's actually break down the specific elements that make up this crazy cartoon void. The lyrics explicitly call out disappointment, helplessness, and all paths being lost. So, how do we draw that? Well, disappointment takes the form of giant, heavy anvils or brick walls that literally drop from the sky out of nowhere, blocking his way. Helplessness is drawn as this thick, sticky quicksand that grabs at his feet, slowing his frantic run down to a painful crawl. And those lost paths? They are literal roads that curl up like ribbons and disintegrate into pure dust right before he can even step on them. He is trapped in a maze that is actively fighting against him. Trapped in this dark, constantly shifting maze, the character finally reaches his absolute breaking point. He looks up and just begs, "Give light, give light." I mean, this is a total gift for an animator. We get to do this dramatic, cinematic lighting shift. Imagine the entire screen going completely pitch black. And then, boom, a single, stark, brilliant beam of theatrical spotlight punches straight through the darkness from above, illuminating him. It's this beautiful, desperate plea for clarity. A plea for a way out of the emotional quicksand he is drowning in. And that brings us to the final act, the labyrinth of memories. This is the grand finale of our storyboard, and honestly, it's where we reveal the heartbreaking twist of the whole song. All that frantic running, all those terrifying shadow monsters, the shifting maze, it all builds up to a moment of profound, tragic irony that completely changes how we view everything we've seen so far. Just listen to this interaction between them. The male voice asks, "Where are you looking for me?" And the female voice replies, "I stay in your paths." And here is where the tragic visual irony hits. The camera angle shifts to reveal that the female character isn't miles away on a floating island anymore. She is standing perfectly still, glowing softly, right smack in the middle of his path. She has literally been there the entire time. But he is running so incredibly fast, looking so frantically behind fake doors and fighting imaginary shadows that he just speeds right past her. He is completely blind to what is sitting right in front of him. Which is exactly why the song is called Teri Yaadon Mein, Lost in Your Memories. To wrap up our visual narrative, we pull the camera way, way back one last time. We see our male character running endlessly on a loop. He's trapped inside a giant, surreal hourglass, or maybe a mechanical hamster wheel, completely made out of his own memories. He is so utterly obsessed with the memory of her and the frantic search for her that he is disconnected entirely from the present reality, the reality where she is actually waiting for him. It is a beautifully tragic loop. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to consider this. Are we all, at times, just like this character? Wandering around in our own exaggerated, self-created mazes of grief for nostalgia? Are we so blinded by fighting the shadow monsters of our own past that we completely miss the answers or the people sitting quietly right on our path? I'm going to leave you to ponder that one. Thank you so much for joining me on this visual deep dive. And hey, remember to keep your eyes open to the path right in front of you. See you next time.